Y'all, I come over here today to get an item ready to ship out. I had sold an item and I come over here to get it ready to ship, but I wanted to talk a little bit about something while I was over there. And what I want to talk about is that mess that's going on in Minneapolis. Where that dude was killed by the police and all the rioting and stuff that's going on. Rioting and looting. You know, there's no point to them people burning that city, all that looting and that rioting and stuff like that. There's no point to that stuff. All they're doing, succeeding in doing, is bringing themselves down to the same level as them cops. They're not making no point. Just, they were singing after they burnt that, set those fires and stuff, they were yelling, "Stop the violence, stop the violence." What do they think they're doing? All they're doing is answering violence with violence. That's not going to solve anything. That's just going to create a bigger, worse problem. That's not going to solve one thing. In my opinion, them cops that was responsible for that, every last one of them that was there, whether they were touching that guy or not, should go to jail. Because that was all out murder. But raiding the police station, setting fire to these here buildings, all these businesses and stuff, and burning that city down, all you doing is destroying somebody else's property that ain't had nothing to do with that killing. The people that is protesting that ain't no better than the cops that killed that guy. You ain't a bit better. There's ways to do things without doing that. You don't destroy other people's property and hurt other people because somebody hurt somebody else. These people are innocent, ain't had a thing to do with that guy getting killed. It was those 4 police officers. If you were going to go against something, go against them police officers. There's a right way and a wrong way to protest, and that's definitely a wrong way right there. And they're started in other cities because of what happened in Minneapolis. That's stupidity. Because these people in these other cities ain't had one blooming thing to do with what happened in Minneapolis. All this is giving somebody an excuse to get out there and cause problems. You ain't no better than them 4 cops that killed that guy. And if that makes you mad, hurt somebody's feelings, I'm sorry, but the truth is the truth. You're just using that as an excuse to get out there and destroy something. And that don't say very much about your character. Because if you use that as an excuse to do that, you wanted to do it to start with, but just didn't have the nerve to do it. Now you're using that as an excuse. People, wake up. Quit following the devil. And now people's going to blame Trump for this. President Trump ain't had one cockeyed thing to do with this. That was them 4 police officers. If you want to lay the blame to somebody and hold somebody accountable, hold it to them police officers. The police department ain't got nothing to do with what them 4 cops done. Them 4 cops acted on their own. And they're the ones that should pay the price, not the innocent people whose buildings and businesses you destroyed. Where is your common sense? Your sense of justice. That's not justice. That's deliberate violence against somebody else. And all it's doing is showing somebody's ignorance. Sure, I'm a white person, and I know you're going to say, you're white, no, I do not. I don't stick up, I don't see color. I see ignorance. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And the right and wrong does not have color behind it. It's got moral standards behind it. It's got God's truth behind it. Read your Bible. God don't see color. We're all brothers and sisters. I look at everybody as my brother and sister in Christ. I love everybody. And everybody has the same rights. One person has the same rights as anybody else. I don't care what color they are. If somebody breaks the law, I think they should be punished for it. But that guy the other day, Floyd, he didn't deserve what he got, and them officers should be held accountable for it. But if you want to punish somebody for what they done to this man, and it breaks my heart that they done this to this guy, because I don't care what he done, he didn't deserve that. He deserves to be judged in a jury of his peers just like everybody else, regardless of who he was, what color he was, or what he had done. Because see here, the ones that done this to this man, I don't know what's going to happen to them here or in Minneapolis, here on this earth. But see here, they got another judge. And he's going to judge them according to what they done and how they conducted themselves. Just like you people that has went out there and destroyed all these buildings, set these buildings on fire, raided the police department, and burn all this stuff, all this loot. You're going to be judged for that. And whether anything happens to you for that, for what you've done here on this earth, you're going to pay for it one day. God's going to judge you for that one day. Just like everybody's going to have to stand before God and be accountable. Them police officers they can get forgiveness from the Lord. But there's a certain way to handle things. See, by the way you're doing to protest what these police officers has done, see, you putting yourself under God's judgment. By taking matters into your own hands. everybody is going to stand accountable for their actions for what they do. The best thing that you can do for anybody like this is to get yourself right with the Lord and pray for these people. I am so sorry for that guy and his family. And I'll pray for them. And I'm going to pray for all you out there that's causing this here ruckus in Minneapolis. Because you're going about it the wrong way. And I'm going to pray that justice will be served as far as those officers, because they should have been held, they should be held accountable. And the two officers that were standing there, from what I seen, should have stopped that other guy when he said that he couldn't breathe. They should have stopped him. If I'd have been a police officer and been standing there, I would have stopped that. Because it's not right. And you need to stop blaming your president for this stuff that's going on. You blame the governors of these states and the mayor of these cities. Not the president. I don't know why, regardless of what happens, everybody wants to come up and start blaming the president for what's going on. When the president is out there trying to get this country opened back up, where people can get back to work, because all this here mess is doing this here coronavirus, which is a crock of hooey to start with. It ain't no more dangerous than the flu. These people died from it, but there's more. In 2018, 80-some thousand people died from the flu. And they ain't that many died. Well, they might be reporting now that that many has died from this virus. But they didn't. Nobody weren't seen wearing no mask in 2018. They didn't shut nothing down when this year big epidemic started in 2018 with the flu virus. Nothing was shut down. Things went on as usual. And you want me to tell you why? It's because 2018 wasn't an election year. If this virus here would have hit in 2018, there wouldn't have been nothing said about it. But no, it's an election year, and they going to try to do this to put all the blame on our president so they can try to get him out of office. You people need to wake up and see the truth of what's going on. These Democrats ain't doing nothing but trying to destroy this country, and they're well on their way. All this here social distancing, the mask, and shutting down. You can't do nothing. You can't go to parks. You can't. They don't want you doing this. They don't want you doing that. See here? That's the biggest crock of hooey I've ever seen in my life. I'm more worried about what this virus is causing people to do, the riots and all this here mess right here causing people to do, than I am the virus, because the virus ain't nothing to worry about. If you put your trust in God, you won't have to worry about it to start with. What bothers me so much about this virus is what it's doing to this country. Because of the Democrats and their stupidity. When something like what happens the other day with the Floyd man, I don't know, I can't remember his first name, George or anyway, Mr. Floyd, what happened with him, and they want to blame the president, say it's his fault. Y'all need to check your stats and check your facts. If you're going to protest, you need to be protesting against the governors and the mayors and get them to open this place back up so people can get back to work, so they won't have to resort to maybe stealing or whatever to get food or whatever they need. This virus has caused... I hadn't been buying hamburger meat. I love hamburger meat. Hamburgers, hamburger helper, spaghetti. I love hamburger meat. I use it a lot. It's quick and it's easy. But who can afford to go to a grocery store other than rich people and buy a pound of hamburger meat for $7? The grocery store I go to, it ranges anywhere from $5 and something a pound to $7 a pound. I ain't bought hamburger meat in almost a month because I'm not paying $7 a pound for hamburger meat. Eggs went up to $3 and something a dozen. Alright, that's come back down. It's back to $1.69 a dozen. Milk's gone up a little bit. But beef has skyrocketed. So has pork. Protest something that needs protesting. But don't burn buildings. This, with Mr. Floyd, that needs protesting. I agree with the protesting. Standing up for what is right. But burning buildings, burning a city, that's not the way to go about it. That's not protesting. You're using violence to fight violence. You can't. That's not going to work. Two wrongs don't make a right. Now say that police officer that actually had his knee on that guy and is the one that is totally responsible for his death. What if somebody had killed that cop? Okay, the person that struck out and killed that police officer, now he'd have a murder charge on him. Two wrongs don't make a right. Sure, you would have exacted vengeance against the guy that he killed, but then the one that killed him is going to go to jail for killing that officer. Protest, but do it legally and non-violent, because violence don't answer nothing. Sometimes people there's wars, and we have to fight to defend our rights and our country. But what happened in Minneapolis That is not defending anything. You weren't fighting to defend nothing. That was more or less vengeance. You was wanting to hurt somebody because this cop hurt somebody. And that's not right. Because the people that you hurt was innocent. They had nothing to do with this. At all. Why didn't somebody, while this was going on, why didn't some of in the crowd go over there and try to stop those police officers while it was going on? A crowd could have backed that cop off of that guy. You could have backed him off. But then they would have probably shot and said they were protecting themselves. It's like you danged if you do and you danged if you don't. But rioting, and burning city blocks is not the answer. That can cause them to call for martial law and further shut down things. Have curfews where you got to be at home. Now, what if that had been a city? What if that fire had spread to people's homes out there and it burnt people's homes? Even some of you that was setting fires, what if it had jumped somewhere and burnt something that belonged to you, destroyed something that belonged to you? Would that have been poetic justice? Think about stuff before you. Think about what you're doing before you do it.